Hello, I'm Dave from DinoPC, and once again, this is the PG348 from ASUS. Just so you guys know, I want to let you know that all opinions on this video are my own and do not reflect that of DinoPC's, unless stated otherwise. With that being said, let's get into the video. Another thing, we're going to be looking at this monitor from almost a purely gaming perspective, because that is exactly what it is geared towards, the ultimate in gaming experience. I'm going to be honest with you right out of the bat. This monitor costs £1,000. That is roughly 75% of the average UK income after taxes. Yeah, that's a lot of money. It's also extremely hard to assemble. For more information on how to assemble it, or laughing at me trying to assemble it, click right here and you're going to be able to see me struggling to unbox this bad boy. With that being said, this is by far and away the best monitor that I have ever used. And also the most annoying, and we will explain why that is in a minute. This bad boy can overclock to 100 Hertz, which means that you can play at a frame rate of 100 frames a second. But that's only if your graphics card can take it. If you've got a 980 Ti, a Titan X, a 1070 or a 1080, then you're going to be in luck. This may be the monitor for you. If you don't have any of those, then the adaptive G-Sync will not work, as is stated on ASUS's website. QHD is the sweet spot for gaming. The higher end graphics cards can get playable frame rates. 4K is just out of touch for the 60 frames a second at the moment with a single card. And so Quad HD at the moment seems to be quite a nice medium between the two. That being said, I can't wait until graphics cards catch up and we have 4K off a single graphics card. This is going to be awesome. I'm hoping 1080 Ti. Come on, you know you can do it. Back to the facts. As I said, this will overclock to 100 Hertz, 60 at standard. It also incorporates G-Sync, as mentioned previously. It's ultra-wide, 3440 by 1440. But that's not where the good stuff ends, because the good stuff is buried deep within the monitor. Let's find out. You get what's called ASUS's Game Tech. This means that you can do stuff like add a frame counter on the screen, add a timer, and the thing I find most useful, adding a crosshair to the direct center of your screen. This is seriously good. If you like sniping on Call of Duty, or for example, you like sniping in any game and the crosshair isn't present until you aim down sight, this thing will make a quick scoper's dream. It also means if you want to record gameplay, let's say Star Wars Battlefront for example, and you want all of the HUDs turned off, but you still want to have some decent gameplay, which is very difficult to do without crosshairs, it means you can stick it on this, but the final recording output won't have the crosshairs in it, which is really good. You also got their game visual software. Their game visual software color corrects to almost anything. So there's a first-person shooter mode, an RPG mode, and cinema mode, regular mode, RGB mode. There's loads of different modes for you to choose from at the simple click of a button, which you can all adjust manually as well. It's also got a near frameless panel, which if you were deciding to burn a hell of a lot of money, you could buy two of these things, put them right next to each other, and you would only see a very small seam on the very edge of the monitor, which is awesome. Some other features are a cool cable management system in the bottom, and of course in the back. This thing detaches from the back in order to hide all of those messy cables, and then it wraps around and you can come through this part here, which means that you can manage your cables, which if you want that ultra clean setup, then I suspect you would do. In the back you have USB pass-through, which leads to two USB 3.0 ports. As well as this, you've got HDMI and DisplayPort. You've also got a handy-dandy headphone jack as well, if you're so inclined, but one suspects you'll have a banging set of speakers before you plug this thing in. If you're up late, like me, and you're browsing the internet for some of your special gentleman's interest literature and photographs, then you will be happy to know there is a low-level blue light mode, which means that it filters out some of that blue light, which means you won't strain your eyes quite as often. Very nice feature. This can, however, be turned off, or you can crank it up to the max, so I believe there are 5 settings for that. So what about the nitty-gritty stuff? Well, we've got a pixel pitch of 0.2325mm, response time of 5 milliseconds, HTC support, flicker-free screen,
uses less than 100 watts, and in power saving mode, it uses 0.5 watts. A Kensington lock, in case you wanted to tie it down to make sure no one steals it.
And something that I find particularly amazing, there was no light bleed whatsoever. And I mean seriously, like none. Like I couldn't find a single tiny bit, even in like the very, very edges, top edges, bottom edges, no light bleed whatsoever and no dead pixels, which is unbelievable. Well, maybe not the dead pixels so much, but the light bleed, that's incredible. Don't forget, if you do decide to buy one of these though, that of course your mileage may indeed vary, so don't come at me with knives, okay? Knives and pitchforks away, please. So if you are a fan of the green team, you will love this because obviously G-Sync. If you're not a fan of this because you are part of the red team, there is no FreeSync version currently available. But there are plenty of FreeSync monitors out there, so I'm sure that you guys will find something that you like. So what is the one annoyance with this monitor? It is something that, unfortunately, no monitor company, whether it be ASUS, Acer, BenQ, Samsung, anybody is going to be able to fix, and that is, of course, the games. Most games don't play at the ultra-wide settings, which kind of sucks because this monitor would put them all to such good use. If you want a monitor that is for a specific game or specific series of games and they support ultra-wide, then this would definitely get my recommendation. So that's really the conclusion. I would definitely recommend this monitor. I want to keep it. ASUS won't let me, surprisingly. But that doesn't matter. I'm sure that they'll send me one in the future to keep for myself. Hint, hint. But overall, I completely love it. I think it's a fantastic monitor, and if you've got a chance to experience one at a gaming show, then I definitely recommend it. See you guys next time. Bye-bye. It also includes low light blue settings. So if you're up late like me, browsing the internet for all sorts of gentleman's special interest literature, then can I put that in?
Oh, I don't know. What does that get? I get taking the perception of what it means. I think it's pretty clear. Yeah.
Is that all right? Yeah, it's fine. So it also includes a low light blue setting, which is great because if you're up late like me looking at some... You serious right now with the bloom?
I don't know, but just...
The bloom! If you're up late like me and you're browsing the internet for some of your special